Well, hello, everyone. Hello. This is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. You are all in with me tonight, Alexandra Levine, and I'm here in my wonderful, humble abode in Florida, my hidden bunker in Florida. And I am just on a wonderful vacation. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving as we move into Hanukkah and Christmas and New Year's. It is a pleasure to be back live with you tonight. Tonight, breaking news. Let's put up the first slide. Breaking. By the stroke of a pen, President Trump formally ends the 30-year Rwanda-Congo war and signs massive critical minerals deal. Trump not only stopped the war, but is vying to get America into benefiting from critical minerals in the region. Always America first. As you know, this is something that President Trump has been working on for a long time. He even brought the president of the Congo to the Oval Office, and he showed him that there is people that are killing innocent farmers, innocent white farmers in the Congo, and that there's a guy talking video or posting videos, recording videos saying, kill the white man. So this was a big end of a war between Rwanda and Congo. This was a 30-year war that President Trump put a stop to. So this is a great accomplishment. We love it. We've been following it. We've been covering it. We've been watching it. Kudos to you, President Trump. And let's put up the next slide. So just in, this is the real breaking news today. The January 5th, 2021 DNC and RNC pipe bomb arrest. It was a male who lived in Northern Virginia, now in federal custody. His arrest was within the past 90 minutes. That was 90 minutes this morning. He's set to appear in court soon, and it's finally time to uncover who this was. And we found out today who the guy is. His name is Brian Cole, and he's a Virginia man. Now, this is something that should have been exposed and should have been taken care of under the Biden administration. But of course, as we know, the Biden administration is a fraudulent administration. They cheated to put Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in, and everyone that was involved didn't get arrested, didn't get hurt. But the January 6ers who didn't go in and cause havoc on people, they ended up in jail for close to almost 6 years. So this is a groundbreaking news. Kash Patel, FBI director, and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, they worked hard on this. This was something that they wanted to do the minute that they got into working in the FBI, in the DOJ, and the Department of Justice. And Pam Bondi announced today, our Attorney General, she said, I saw Kash and Dan working really hard to bring this to justice with Judge Jeanine Pirro. And justice will be done for this guy, Brian Cole, the Virginia man who infiltrated this. I mean, everybody knew that there was somebody putting up pipe bombs all over the place the day before January 6th. There was flyers going out saying, don't come to the Capitol, don't come during January 6th because there's going to be pipe bombs everywhere, etc. So we, the American people, knew all about this. But of course, the Biden administration, they also knew about this, but they kept this a hidden secret. The FBI under Joe Biden knew about this. So did the DNI, so did the CIA, and so forth. So it takes people like a new administration, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, to find out what was going on over there. And they are going to bring justice to this guy, Brian Cole, and we thank them for that. Now let's go into segment one. Oh, and there we go. Oh, sorry. So my producer identified that the January 6, 2021 pipe bomb suspect now in federal custody is Brian Cole, like I said, a Virginia man per Fox. Finally, I hope they got him. And they got him. So moving on to segment one. So segment one is making a list, checking it twice. Better find out who's naughty or nice. And President Trump actually put up something else saying, better find out who is going to be abducted by ICE, because there's a lot of illegal criminals out there, a lot of them. So segment one, let's put up the first slide. So segment one deals with Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna of Florida. She says Obama authorized over 500 strikes and the press said nothing. Meanwhile, an admiral with a strike package and intel report protects Americans from narco terrorists, and all of a sudden people decide to virtue signal. The mental gymnastics of politics by those who lack critical thinking skills is truly impressive. I will 100% continue to back the man That's the men that stand up and protect this country against those that are trying to murder our citizens. Well done at Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. We thank you for protecting Americans. So this is a big drama that's going on between the liberals, the socialists, the Democrats, and Pete Hegseth. So Pete Hegseth has done a great thing here. He's stopping the narco terrorists. They're on ships right now in the Caribbean. He's stopping them from bringing their drugs into this country. But for some reason, that's a bad thing. Again, Obama authorized over 500 strikes, and the press said nothing. Pete Hegseth, he authorizes it, and it's, oh my God, it's Pete Hegseth. We can't have him. What he's doing is illegal and unethical. And again, it comes on the heels of those 6 Democrat senators who told you or the military to not follow military orders, to not follow the commander-in-chief, to not follow Pete Hegseth's orders, which is illegal, by the way. It's sedition. So this is actually a good thing that Pete Hegseth is doing. He's protecting our country from narco terrorists, because we have a lot of terrorists, especially drug cartels, that came here under the Biden administration, and they push fentanyl, which is a narcotic, which is an opioid. It's an illegal opioid that kills people. At the hospitals, they push fentanyl. They push other medical opioids, which actually kill people. They killed my grandfather. So all these people that are like up in arms about what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth did to stop the narco terrorists from coming into our country, they should be thanking him instead of going against him. It's really disgusting. I mean, Pete Hegseth is trying to protect Americans from the narco terrorists, and that's considered a bad thing. I've never heard of this in my entire life. Like, this is asinine to me. Like, this is insane. Let's go to the next slide. So this is very interesting too. So holy crap. In the last 24 hours, the Trump administration has secured the seizure of 25,000 kilos of cocaine destined for the United States. This again has to do with the Secretary of State, with Pete Hegseth. Quote, destined to spread this poison being sent by foreign terrorist cartels. They are preying on our kids. So again, President Trump in the last 24 hours secured the seizure of 25,000 kilos of narcotics with Pete Hegseth, with the Secretary of War. And this is considered a bad thing? Again, wake up, people, wake up. And I don't say this to people that watch my show, but I say this to the Democrats, the rhinos, people that are against this. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to think that it's okay again for fentanyl and cocaine and illegal substances to flood and cross over our country. We should be kissing Pete Hegseth's behind. Kissing his behind. That he stopped this. We had some new reporters at the Pentagon the other day, and they were asking some pretty hard questions. They're asking questions that we, the American people, have been wanting to hear for a long time. They claim that the woman who answered it was gaslighting. She did like a runaround. She didn't exactly answer the question. And those people are going to continue to go in there and ask her questions. These are very conservative people, such as Laura Loomer, James O'Keefe, Matt Gaetz. A lot of these people have entered the alt-right realm, like Matt Gaetz. So he's all about not helping our ally, not supporting Israel, not working with them. He did a whole 180 because he used to be very pro-Israel. And he was for the move of the embassy. He voted for it with my governor, Ron DeSantis. So he's done this whole 180, but he's asking critical questions about what's been going on in the FBI, the DNI, the Pentagon, since before Trump took office, and why there's all these pending investigations and nothing's happening. And we, the American people, have the right to know the answer to these questions. It's very hard. It's very, very hard to sit here for 4 years waiting for answers. And now we finally have a new administration and we want the answers. I love the new administration. I love President Trump. I love the majority of the people that he's picked in his cabinet. And they're the most transparent and most accessible administration ever. President Trump is extremely accessible. I'll tell you a true story. I have a friend in Dundalk, Maryland, who lost her son very unexpectedly in a motorcycle accident. He was on a motorcycle and he got killed by the semi truck who didn't see him on a highway. And that was almost a year ago. And it's been very tough on her. And she wants justice for her son. And she's like, who do I get in touch with? And I told her, email President Trump, email him. Just email him every day, telling him your story, tell him what's going on. And she would get responses like, thank you so much for emailing us. We'll get back to you. Thank you so much for your response. Thank you so much for your response. Thank you so much for your response. She was getting that constantly, about maybe 7 or 8 times, until finally, about the 9th time, she gets a reply stating, we have looked into your situation. We are forwarding your email and all the information you provided for us to the appropriate people. That didn't take a year. That didn't take 6 months. That took maybe a month of her constantly emailing the president about her situation. That didn't happen under the Biden administration. That didn't happen under Obama. So my point is that President Trump will hear your call, your pleas. He will read. He will email you back, or someone that works for him will. They will respond. I email the president in Caroline Levitt all the time about things going on in Baltimore, things going on around the country, and they do take action on it. I don't need the credit for it, but I know it was my email that made them open their eyes and look into the situation and do something about it. And I've emailed Sean Duffy many times, and EPA Director Lee Zeldin, and many others. And let me tell you something, Pete Hegseth has reshaped and changed the military for the better. He's got rid of the wokeness and the transgenderism that was in the military, that was under Mark Milley. He's not picking people based on race and gender. It's based on ability and will. And there's a lot more recruitment under Pete Hegseth than ever before. More people want to join the military because Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of War. More people are joining the military because of President Trump and the Navy and so forth. But they will accept you based on merit, not because of the color of your skin, or if you're a woman, or if you're a Muslim, or if you're gay. It's not about that. And the liberals will scream, oh, that's discrimination. It's not discrimination. What's discriminating is them picking you based on your gender and your religion and your sexual orientation. And if you're a trans or not, that's discriminating. It's based on skill and merit. I don't want people to hire me just because I'm a woman. I want them to hire me because I'm smart and I can do the job well. I don't want to be a DEI hire. I really don't. I really want to work for the job. When I saw health insurance for people, it's not about me being a woman. That's why they wanted, it's not about me being a woman. That's why they want to sign up with me. It's about because I have a stellar reputation and I know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm very thorough with my clients. It does help that my father has been in the industry for 50 years and he has a stellar reputation. And I help out a lot of his clients' grandchildren and so forth. But they didn't go to my dad because he was a man. They went to my dad because he knows what the hell he's talking about. And he's very thorough. And actually, in the healthcare profession, it's hard for women to get clients. A lot of people want to give their money to men. They want to invest with men. They want to obtain health insurance from a man. A lot of people feel more comfortable talking to a man about their personal issues, their health issues, their mental health issues. Especially if I'm talking to a young man on the phone, he may not want to tell me he's got a mental illness. He may feel uncomfortable because I'm a woman. And then he sees my picture. He's like, oh God, she's an attractive woman. Ugh. Do I really want to divulge with her the most personal secrets about my life? But you know what? Because I'm good at what I do, they trust me. And Pete Hegseth is very good at what he does. And President Trump is doing a great job. We as Republicans need to rally behind the head of the Republican Party, which is President Trump. He's the head of our party. We need to stand by him and stand with him and cut the BS and stop dividing. We are divided. The Republican Party is divided, but not because of Donald Trump. It's because of these other people that have their own agenda that are ruining it for everybody else. That congressman, or that, I should say, that newly sworn in congressman, Mark Von Epps, who won that special seat in Tennessee the other night, Tuesday night, that was a Trump 22 plus seat in Tennessee. Trump won that seat by 22 points in 2024. This guy only won the seat by 9 to 10 points. That's pathetic. And that's because Republicans did not come out for this guy. Because they said, oh, it's a special election. It's in the middle of winter. They didn't think it was important. They were complicit because it was Tennessee. This woman was more far left than AOC. We can't be this way in 2026. We have to come together as a party and stop with the division. We have to back President Trump. If you have issues with his picks, say something. That's what a primary is for. Even if you don't pick who President Trump endorses, still go out and vote. Do not give up your chance to vote. Do not give up your chance to exercise your right to vote. Sitting and being complicit and not voting could cost us the House of Representatives. We need to expand more. We need to get more real people in to Congress, more people that support President Trump and his agenda, not people that support their own agenda. You can say whatever you want about Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she gave up on her constituents. She leaves in the beginning of next year. And let me tell you something, her constituents are not happy with her. I've talked to them. America first, America only? That's not how you run a country. On the federal level, you're supposed to work with your ally Israel. You're supposed to go over there. You're supposed to support your ally. I've never heard of this before where you don't support your ally. We need our allies. They help us with central intelligence, environment, agriculture, etc. Each state has a dual agreement with Israel. To cut them off and treat them like garbage is asinine to me. They're not a third world country. They're not a country that would cut your head off or your hand off if you go over there. There's a reason why we've been so close to them for so long. There's a reason why Netanyahu was so close to America here. There's a reason why President Trump wants Netanyahu pardoned. Because we need to work with our allies. It's very important that we work with our allies. I don't understand. I don't understand why other people don't understand this. And if you're a congressman or a senator, I don't understand what you don't get. You think Israel's the problem. Oh, we give too much money to the Jews. BS. My sister and I discussed this the other day. We've hashtag had enough of it. Ignorance is bliss, but man, there's a lot of ignorance out there. That's why you watch my program, because you are no idiot, and I will make you smarter. I will help you out. I will train you to be better. As a consultant, that's my job, to train you to be better, to make you win in life, and to help you succeed. But not if you listen to the stupid people around you, like President Trump comments on. So before we go to our next segment, don't forget our affiliate sponsor, rncstore.com/ALL. Let's put that up. There we go. Richardson Nutritional Center. We've had John Richardson on our show. He's going to be promoting his products all over the country. He continues to encourage people to use the discount code ALL to get the 10% off discount. So please go to rncstore.com/ALL. It's Christmas time. It's New Year's. I'm sure everybody ate a lot of turkey. They overate. And they need to get into those New Year's Eve dresses. I'm working on getting into a New Year's Eve dress right now, custom made just for me. So please, guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL. Type in ALL. If you don't type ALL, you don't get the discount code. So, of course, the more you spend, the more money you get off. So please, guys, this is a really great supplement. It will help you lose weight. It will help with your immune system, and it prevents against cancer. So please, guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL. Get a nice Christmas gift, Hanukkah gift, and New Year's Eve gift for your loved ones and friends. And stay with us, guys. We will be right back after the break. Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did. Well, hello, everyone. Hello. We are back. This is can't even say my own name now. Alexandra Levine, live with the America's Pulse Network, coming to you live from my bunker in Florida. That's why you see a little bit of like a chair in the background. You know, it's a whole different view here in Florida, but it's beautiful. The pool is gorgeous back here. So going into segment 2. So this has been really scary going on this entire week. It's the Somalian Minnesota. But guess what? It's now coming to an end. Let me tell you something. Keith Ellison, who's the Attorney General, he is of the Muslim Brotherhood, or sorry, not the Muslim Brotherhood, the Nation of Islam, which is run by Louis Farrakhan, who's a known anti-Semite. So Keith Ellison is a known anti-Semite himself. He and George Soros and many others were big proponents of bringing illegal Somalians into the state of Minnesota. That's why you got an Ilhan Omar in there. That's why you have so many illegal Somalians that live in Minnesota. And they just discovered that Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and many others were in charge of $1 billion fraud ring with Somalians. And these Somalians that do calls to prayer in the middle of the heart of Minnesota, St. Paul, the capital, and many others, and exactly where Ilhan Omar lives. I mean, they're there illegally. And they've been doing this fraud ring for many years. And I always said, like, where did Rashida Tlaib come from? Where did Ilhan Omar come from? The woman literally married her brother, which is disgusting, and obtained American citizenship, which I believe, and many others, and so does President Trump, that it's not legal. And then she tried to push this another illegal Somalian to become the new mayor of Minnesota. Thank God he lost. But still, Minnesota is not Minnesota anymore. It's become the state of Somalia. And you have the other stupid guy. He's a mayor of, God, I don't even know what city. His name is Jacob Frey. He's Jewish, by the way. Hashtag not my Jew. Hashtag never a Jew. Hashtag not a true Jew. And he lives in Minnesota, and he's a mayor there. And he's disgusting. And he praises the Somalian illegals that live in the state. And he actually was speaking Somalian at a press conference. Why the hell are you speaking Somalian? President Trump signed an executive order that English is the language of the land, which that executive order needs to be codified, by the way. But the majority of people in America speak English. If you love Somalia so much, and if you love the Somalian people, then Jacob Frey, why don't you move to Somalia? Why don't you move there? I don't understand why you have such a hard-on for these illegal Somalians. How much money are you making off of them? Are you a part of the fraud as well? I wouldn't be surprised. They should be investigating you, Mr. Jacob Frey. I mean, you're a disgrace. You don't support Israel. You attack Israel. You support Hamas. You shout out Free Palestine. I mean, you're disgusting. Disgusting people. I don't understand why people are kowtowing to these illegal Somalians. And a lot of these Somalians are terrorists and have committed heinous crimes on the people of Minnesota. And President Trump has hashtag had enough, and he wants Ilhan Omar removed from Congress. They need to remove her. She needs to go back to Somalia. And it's so funny, her own home doesn't even want her back. They're like, we don't want her. Keep her, President Trump, keep her. We don't want her. So her own country doesn't want her back. America doesn't want her. Maybe she should go live in Gaza. Maybe she should go live with Hezbollah. Oh, wait, Hezbollah has been massively destroyed. Maybe she should go live with the Taliban in Afghanistan. She should go live with people that are just like her, that think like her. Maybe go live with her brother. Disgusting. Let's put up the first slide. So this was the breaking news today. So Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, and Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison are now being investigated by Congress for, quote, allowing fraud to happen en masse. Documents, records, and communications must be turned over. Representative Comer says Tim Walz and Keith Ellison apparently turned a blind eye for fear of political retaliation from the large voting bloc of Somalis. Expose it all. The voters deserve to know at a minimum. At Representative James Comer at GOP oversight. That's correct. Tim Walz and Keith Ellison apparently turned a blind eye. They knew that the fraud was happening, and they did absolutely nothing. They should be investigated. They should go to jail. Tim Walz, as President Trump said, he's retarded. He's a moron. I'm sorry if you take offense to the word retarded, but President Trump didn't say that to offend anyone that has Down syndrome or mental illness. He said it because Tim Walz is crazy, and he is a mental case, and he needs to be in a straitjacket as far as I'm concerned. His wife is even more weird. I was like watching what she would say on the campaign trail. She says, "Come on, everyone, let's be the windshield wiper and let's turn the page. We're going to turn the page in January. Goodbye, Donald Trump." That's what she screamed at. Turning the page away from Donald Trump. I mean, I'm saying it now and I feel like something's mentally off with me. Like, this woman is insane. And she's telling everyone to do the windshield wiper effect. Then she goes on an interview and she says, "Oh my God, it was so sad when my city of Minnesota, the city of Minneapolis was burning down. I put the window down. I could smell the ashes." Are you crazy? Sounds like she was like commenting about smelling the ashes of people. A lot of people compared that to a reference of the Holocaust, when the Nazi mothers, the Nazis' wives and mothers could smell the burning ashes of the Jews all day and all night. It was a nonstop extermination. I mean, this woman's insane. I think she's more insane than him. Then she lied about getting IVF to have her child. One of her children does have a mental illness. The fact that Tim Walz's family completely endorsed Donald Trump tells you everything. The man is insane. And the man should go to jail, and so should Keith Ellison for the crimes that they've committed in their state. And Jacob Frey, if he is involved, which I wholeheartedly feel he is, he seems corrupt as hell, speaking Somalian, should be investigated as well. And Ilhan Omar is like, "Come for me, President Trump. My Somalian people will protect me." Oh yeah? How come they don't want you in the country you were born in? Where's your brother when you need him, huh? Where's your husband? Your husband's in hiding, because that marriage is a marriage of convenience. Crazy. She should have never been a congresswoman, and she should be removed, because the more she stays, the more she's causing havoc. I never thought Minnesota would get to where it is today. And ICE is going in there, and guess what? They're ripping people, illegals, out of their homes and sending them back. And that's how it should be. They're all going to jail. Let's put up the second slide. And as I said, breaking. ICE has begun going door to door in Minneapolis, targeting Somalian illegals after a massive $1 billion fraud ring was exposed. Finally, exclamation. Send every frickin' one of them back. We do not want nor need them here. I wholeheartedly agree with this. That is Thomas Homan. That is Kristi Noem. That is the head of ICE. Not, oh my God, not that. Yeah, the head of ICE. And I don't know why I forget. I think his name is Thomas Lyons. I always butcher. I forget his name. I see his face, but I forget the name. When I think of ICE, I think of Thomas Homan, our borders are, and I think of DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. But I mean, this is the truth. $1 billion fraud ring. So ICE is going in there, and they're getting rid of these morons that were in charge of this $1 billion fraud ring. Doesn't that piss you off as an American? Doesn't that piss you off as someone who voted for Ilhan Omar and Keith Ellison and Tim Walz? Not just for the governorship, but for the, I mean, he was trying to be your vice president of the United States. What if, God forbid, he got in there? He hurt the voters. But as we know, it's corrupt internal election personnel. So real voters like you and I didn't even vote for this crap. It was 80,000 illegal Somalians that voted for Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar and almost that freaking Somalian illegal who was almost going to be the mayor. I mean, think about it. They don't ask for photo ID in the state of Minnesota. That's why Kamala Harris won. Every state that Kamala Harris won did not ask for photo ID. That's why, again, Congress needs to codify the executive order that President Trump put into place to ask for photo ID. Look what Kristi Noem is doing with the airport. You have to have a legal driver's license or a passport to show who you are. If you try to get on a plane with an illegal driver's license, you go directly to jail. If you try to go to the airport, or let's say you try to go back to another country with an illegal passport, you're done. You're finished. If you do not have a legal driver's license to vote or a legal driver's license to get on an airplane, you go directly to jail. You get deported back to your respective country. Amen to that. Aren't you tired of people breaking the law? Haven't you hashtag had enough of people breaking the law? Like I said, if I was living in Minnesota right now, I'd be pissed. I would call for Ilhan Omar to be removed and Keith Ellison and Tim Walz, or have them removed and then go to jail. That's why we Republicans and Democrats and independents need to step up and rise up to this. How can you sit back and allow your state to go to hell and be in ruins? How can you allow a Tim Walz to take the beautiful city of Minneapolis and turn it into a crap hole? A centerfold for Black Lives Matter and Somalian illegals and Somalian illegal refugees and Somalian terrorists. How is you as a Minnesotan, how can you live with that? How can you live with yourself by accepting that? I don't know why people aren't up in arms about this. I'd be up in arms if I lived in Minnesota. We shouldn't have to flee our homes and flee the area to get away from it. Zokran Mandami was elected by a bunch of illegals and misinformed voters. And Republicans didn't really go out there and find a proper Republican candidate. The fact that Trump's voters voted for Zokran Mandami tells you everything. That should not have happened. He should not have gotten that far. I feel bad for Trump voters that had to choose between Mandami or Cuomo or the Republican, but the Trump voters should have voted for the Republican. I know there was a lot of pressure to get the Republican out of there. And he was stubborn. He's on Trump's border. You want to get out. But if you really wanted to send a message, you would have made sure that Mr. Zokran Mandami was not the next New York City mayor. Now, New York City is going to be horrible. But let me tell you something. The minute that it becomes horrible, President Trump ain't going to do a damn thing for the city. And President Trump is going to just sit back and watch this a-hole destroy the city. President Trump, it's not his fault if the city of New York goes to crap. He warned everybody about this. But then he said, good, let him win. Let the Zokran Mandami win. Let us see what socialism really is. And it should propel people to vote hardcore Republican in 2026 and to vote for Elise Stefanik for governor of New York, because Kathy Hochul is a hot mess. But it shouldn't have to take a Democrat socialist to wake we the people up to go vote for someone proper. Republicans, again, like I said in the first segment, should be going out in drones and voting for the Republican, voting for the person that deeply supports President Trump and his policies, and putting the right people in office and recruiting the right people for office. I see in Maryland, they keep electing the same people year after year after year. There was a, quote, Rhino Republican today that praised the Speaker of the House in Annapolis, who is a liberal, hardcore Democrat. And what did the Rhino say? I was so happy to be a part of electing the first African-American woman Speaker of the House to Annapolis, even though this woman is a liberal, hardcore Democrat. This Rhino was so proud. And she spoke on behalf of her sidekick, too. And she's the head of the Maryland Freedom Caucus. That's a joke. And she was a delegate for Trump at the RNC. That's another joke. She doesn't like Trump. She hates him. She says one thing and does the other. She gives money to rhinos. She's supported by rhinos. She doesn't know how to make Maryland free. She's done nothing in regards to election integrity, and she's a disgrace as far as I'm concerned. She's a joke. And the people that kiss her butt are bigger jokes. And a lot of them do in the delegation, and it's really sad. That's why it's time for the Uniparty and the rhinos to go away and to put fresh, young conservatives or fresh conservatives in office. Because your Maryland Freedom Caucus or any Freedom Caucus is not going to get anything done if you have the same bad apples in there year after year after year after year. So great, you know their name, but what have they actually done? It's the actions that people take that makes the difference. And I've said this many, many times. It's the actions that people take that make the difference. I'm very sad that it takes a Democrat socialist in office for people to realize that. But in other news overseas, as you know, President Trump is trying to make a deal between Putin and Zelensky to end the war. As you know, our beautiful First Lady Melania Trump, she wrote letters to Putin and to Zelensky, but specifically to Putin, making sure that the children are not killed and not harmed. And Vladimir Putin, to his credit, has actually reached out to Melania Trump, has kept his word, has kept his promise. And Caroline Levitt actually put it on her Truth Social today, updates between the relationship between Melania Trump and Vladimir Putin. Let's put up that slide. So Caroline Levitt, our wonderful White House press secretary, she's amazing. U.S. First Lady Melania Trump welcomes progress in Russia-Ukraine Children's Reunification Initiative. As you know, this was a huge thing that she was trying to bring together. Remember, she wrote a letter to Vladimir Putin asking him to protect the children. And she did the same thing to Zelensky. And Zelensky's wife wrote back to Melania Trump, thanking her for thinking about the children. And actually, Vladimir Putin wrote her back personally and said, thank you so much for caring about our children. And he has kept his word on keeping it peaceful and making sure that innocent children's lives are not killed. So this is a stepping stone, in my opinion, to try to bring peace. I can tell you that Vladimir Putin, when he first met Melania, he was smitten by her. They both speak German. She sat next to him at their first big dinner, and she walks in and his eyes light up. I mean, the Trumps walk into a room, everybody's silent. And we saw the beautiful dress that Melania wore with the Saudi Arabian prince, the crown prince. She actually matched the color of his flag. but it was very holiday-y. It was Christmassy. I felt bad for her. She had to walk out in the cold rain with no shawl on, bare arms, and she jumped right back into the heated White House. But she's just such a gorgeous woman, just a gorgeous woman. And I just want to shout out quickly to my viewers tonight. Thank you so much. I know we had some tech problems in the beginning, but thank you for sticking with us. And I just want to shout out to Donald Willinger, Jorge Finkelman, at Real Home Recording. And my friend Donald said, it sounds like the governor of Minnesota needs an extended vacation inside a well-guarded, gated community. Maybe AG Bonnie can help to arrange that vacation for him. I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. You know, they're talking about opening up Alcatraz in California. I think that, in my opinion, Mr. Waltz should take a vacation there. Just hang out in Alcatraz for a while. And Mr. Willinger said, I think Putin is hiding. I mean, he's been very quiet, but there has been some strikes between Russia and Ukraine. Russia has pummeled the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian army. And he hopes not to affect the people, but sometimes the Ukrainians put their people in their shields. But Putin has been crushing Ukraine in the last few days. It's been pissing off the president because the president wants peace. So the president has been in talks with Zelensky and Putin to try to arrange a deal, some type of deal. And I have a lot of friends from Russia and Ukraine, and they're like, just let it go. Like, President Trump doesn't need to intervene. Like, they're both stubborn men. They both want power. You know, they're both going to fight to the end. Like, it's a war that probably will not eventually end, or it will calm down. And then when Trump is out of office, it will stir up again. And people are saying that the same thing about the Middle East. Like, it's calm now, but then when Trump leaves, it's going to be not calm anymore. So that's why we have to make sure to have, I would love to have President Trump in there forever, or someone like his children, or someone that will protect the America First agenda and the MAGA movement. Not some alt-right crazy, not some rhino, but someone that actually gives a crap about our country and cares about we the people, not their own personal agenda. But like I said, it's stepping stones. And I do want to make for the record, I know this is on a side note, if you see the difference between the Christmas decorations that Biden had and the Christmas decorations that Melania Trump again has, it's day and night. The respect that the First Lady gives to the White House is just amazing. And if you guys get a chance to take a tour of the White House during Christmas, take as many pictures as you can. It is a beautiful sight. And if you go there for Hanukkah, it's an even more beautiful sight. I mean, the way he honors the holidays, and President Trump has acknowledged again that we are saying Merry Christmas. And I say Merry Christmas. I don't say Happy Holidays. I think that's very cold. And I'm Jewish, but people say Merry Christmas to me. I do not take offense. I'll say Happy Hanukkah to someone who isn't Jewish. I know they won't take offense. So don't feel you're offending anybody by saying Happy Holidays. And these liberal states and liberal counties and liberal districts need to get the hell over it, because we are celebrating Christmas. It is supposedly the birth of Christ. And it's a very joyous day for people. And Hanukkah is all about miracles and how one man named Judah Maccabee led the Jewish people with not a big army. He defeated a huge army. They call him the Hammer because we have Damon Galdo, the Hammer. Judah Maccabee was called the Hammer, and he was a warrior. And it was a miracle that the Jews won. It was a miracle that that oil that was only supposed to light for one day ended up lighting 8 days, or lighting up for 8 days. It was a beautiful, beautiful miracle. And it's such a fantastic time. I love it. I love the fact that Hanukkah comes first and then it's Christmas. I actually don't like it when the holidays overlap, because I feel like you're missing out on both holidays. I feel like, okay, we're focused on Hanukkah and then Christmas comes and like we forget about Hanukkah. So I like the fact that Hanukkah is coming first. We can focus on Hanukkah. We can focus on the Festival of Lights. And then Christmas comes in December 25th, and we can focus on Christmas and Christmas Eve. And we can say the Christmas songs, and, you know, people leave milk and cookies for Santa. And, you know, like I said, each holiday is celebrated separately. So each person gets their own Christmas and each person gets their own Hanukkah. And I love that. I'm a bigger fan of that than when they merge the holidays together. I think last year the holidays like were intertwined together, and we missed out because I think like Hanukkah started like the day of Christmas Eve. And it's just, I don't know. I felt bad for the Christian people because I felt like their holiday was overshadowed by ours, but also our holiday gets like not recognized at all because we have the first night of Hanukkah, the 24th, then Christmas comes in, and then like people forget about Hanukkah too. So it's, it all has to do with the calendar, by the way. But I'm happy that Hanukkah is coming first, Christmas is coming after. And it's funny because Hanukkah ends the 22nd and then Christmas starts right away. So we're ending Hanukkah. Everybody's remembering all the beautiful 8 days of Hanukkah. We go into Christmas Eve and then Christmas. So I kind of like that. I really do like that. I remember one year when Hanukkah was like right after Thanksgiving. And I didn't like that because like we just finished Thanksgiving. Now we got to go into Hanukkah. Like I'm just like getting over eating turkey. Now we're going to eat for another holiday. So yeah. So I'm really excited about Hanukkah. I really, really am. But we have to understand, guys, that it's day and night in the White House right now. President Trump is doing a great job. He's signing executive orders like crazy. He's signing wonderful legislation. Look what he did with the Dells the other day. He signed legislation. The Dells are putting $65 million in to helping young children when they're born, newborns, after July 4th. They're having like a Trump account. They're starting out with $1,000 and they're getting their own Trump account. Newborns. I mean, this is amazing. So I say to people, I'll talk about this in my segment 3 about getting married and having kids. I would do it now. Do it now before Trump leaves office. But he implemented that for a long time. But for the Dells to do that, and they're a Jewish couple, by the way. So again, you anti-Semites on YouTube and other places keep crapping on the Jews and saying they don't care about anybody. They care about themselves. They're not cashing in by doing this. They are using their own money to help we the people, to help Americans, to help newborns, to help young families. So again, stop crapping on the Jews. The Dells are a wonderful Jewish family. They did not have to do this. They didn't have to put their own money into this. They didn't take money from Israel. They didn't take money from the Rothschilds, whatever crap conspiracy lie you guys want to come up with, or whatever Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to come up with, or Matt Gaetz. They took their own hard-earned money that they worked damn hard for, and they put it into investing in we the people. We should all thank them for that. So before we go on to their third segment, before the break, don't forget I have another affiliate sponsor, FoliumPX.com. That's FoliumPX.com. I can tell you I got my supplies for Hanukkah. I have the super antioxidant. I have the multivitamin that helps with stress, and it also helps to sleep, and also helps your metabolism. It also boosts your immune system. It's very, very good. It's very, very good stuff, guys. And they're very reasonable. I got like 3 bottles of these supplements. It detoxes your body. It gets all the free radicals out. It helps you lose weight. I've been losing weight even before Thanksgiving. And I have, like I said, I have a custom-made dress to get into before New Year's. So I'm really not eating very much, but I'm exercising hard. But I'm taking these supplements that are helping me to lose weight, and they're massive peptides. I'm a big fan of peptides. Peptides, whether you can take them through a pill or if you can do injectables. They say the peptides injectables are faster. But let me tell you something. This is safer for you than Ozempic and tirzepatide. It's better for you, and you don't rapidly lose weight in such a short period of time, which is not healthy for you. It doesn't stretch your skin out. It doesn't give you the Ozempic face. This is very good for your body. Peptides are the way to go, full peptides. And the more peptides you put in your body, the better. You want good peptides. You don't want bad peptides. So please, guys, go to FoliumPX.com. There is code. You get a discount with that QR code, and take care of your body. Coming up after the break, I have a special segment about dating. As you know, we're going into Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's. This is the time to find your loved one. This is your New Year's resolution. Find your man, get married, have kids, enjoy life. No more excuses. And this advice tonight is for women and men ages 36 and above. You will not want to miss it. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Well, hello, guys. Sorry, I was actually giving someone a dating tip. So, as you know, I am a political consultant. I own my own political consulting firm, but also I'm expanding my consulting to not just politics and business, but to dating. So, I am now officially a dating consultant. I actually started the dating consulting a couple days ago. I was in Boca Raton with my sister and my aunt. We were going to a makeup event, actually. And there was a couple girls there, and they were kind of, venting to me about their relationships. There was one lady going on, or she was on divorce number 3. And I didn't get into the details of her divorce. And, she just said, I keep dating the wrong men. Like, I date guys that have no money. I date guys that are convicted felons. I date guys that are alcoholics and drug addicts. And it's like, my gosh. And I feel bad for people like that. I really do. But I gave her the best advice. I said, because she was very negative about finding somebody else and finding the right one. And they do say 3 times the charm, but maybe for her 4th time's the charm. And she's a young woman. She doesn't have any children. She's a young lady in her 40s. And I told, she came up with the mindset and said, well, I'll never find the one. Like, I'm done. He's not out there for me. Well, the problem is, to you ladies that are age 36 and above, is that negative mentality that you will never find anyone because of your age, because you've been through bad divorces, bad relationships, so forth. Number 1 advice, ladies, if you go into a relationship already thinking negative, the outcome is going to be negative. You're hurting yourself before you even get a chance to start. And also, you can't go in with negative vibes thinking that the guy is going to be a POS the minute that you meet him. She also talked about the dating websites that she's been on. She's been on Bumble, Plenty of Fish, some I don't even know about. And I've said this on my show before, I'm going to say it again. Get off the dating sites. They're just a way to make money. They're not actually real matchmakers. They think they are, but they're not. If you really want a true matchmaker, then you go out and pay one. And there's a lot of Jewish matchmakers and Christian matchmakers that are not that expensive. They don't charge you thousands of dollars. The ones that charge you thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, they're just after you for your money. There's also an app called It's Just Lunch, which you literally just meet guys out for lunch, but it's a very expensive way to meet somebody. And I remember years ago looking into it, and they told me that when you go out, the guy may or may not pay for you. So be prepared to maybe go Dutch on a first date. And I was like, are you kidding me? These guys are supposedly well-to-do men that are spending a lot of money on this site. It's Just Lunch. And you're telling me that they're not going to pay for my lunch? That's crazy. And Charlie Kirk talked about this. If you can't afford to take your woman on a date, then you can't afford to be their husband. You can't afford to have a life with them. That's crazy. That's dating 101. Coffee dates are fine, but do not expect the girl to pay for her own cup of coffee. She does it on a daily basis. A girl should not have to worry that the guy she's dating can't afford to take her on a date. Now, the guy can be honest and say, hey, we can't go out to Ruth's Chris every time I see you, or Morton Steakhouse, like it's getting pretty high. And you don't have to take your woman out to the most expensive restaurant to impress her. If you really can't afford it, just be honest. Honesty is the best policy, and it's the key to a relationship. But when I told this woman, I was at Bloomingdale's. When I told this woman at Bloomingdale's, and she was working behind the counter, and she said, I'll never find someone. And she was just very negative. I said, well, first of all, your mentality sucks. Your attitude sucks. And what you need to do is write down a list. And this is double advice for people of all ages. This is the best advice. You write down a list of qualities that you're looking for in a man or a woman, and you stick to that list. And if you meet someone that doesn't meet the majority of the criteria on your list, then you move on. If you see a red flag right away, you move on. What I find in a lot of couples today is that they see a flaw or two and they continue. They continue seeing that person, they ignore the flaws, and then they're emotionally dragged in, or they're emotionally invested into a relationship for 2 or 3 years, and they know in the back of their mind it's not going anywhere, but they feel stuck. When I told that woman this advice about writing a list down of what she wants in a man, and if they don't make the cut, you get rid of them, She was like, oh my God, you're right. I said, if you don't want a guy who's a convicted felon and an alcoholic and a cocaine addict, then you shouldn't be dating them. If you don't want a guy that doesn't make a certain income, then you shouldn't be dating them. And you should be hanging out with people that do make the type of income that you want in a man. And there's specific social circles that you can go to meet a type of guy that you want. Like if you want to marry a billionaire, then you go hang out at Mar-a-Lago. You go hang out at country clubs. You go hang out at places with billionaires. And you shut up and you don't speak your mind and you do a lot of listening. And you look nice and sweet and innocent. Less is more. And she actually came over and gave me a hug, and she actually gave me a free candle, a free Joe Malone candle. There was another associate that also worked at the Joe Malone counter at Bloomingdale's. The woman is currently married, and she told me that her husband is constantly giving money to his mother, paying attention more to his mother, running for his mother, and not taking care of her. And she's like, I've had enough. And I said, well, how much is the husband giving your mother-in-law? And she goes, $8,000 a year, which is nothing. Now I can understand if it was hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, I get it, but $8,000 a year is nothing. One thing I can tell you, married women, you can never come between a man and his mother. It's not a good idea. It's actually a dumb idea. And what I told her is that she should be becoming nice with her mother-in-law and doing things for her mother-in-law and asking, mommy or mom, how can I help you? To take the burden off her husband. Also, there's something that a wife can give her husband that a mother can't, and that's called sex. And I said to her, I was honest. I'm like, have you had a lot of sex with your husband? And she's like, yeah, we've been having lots of sex. I'm like, well, obviously something's not working. Because if you're having sex with him, but you're threatening to leave him 5 seconds later, that's not good. And there's a saying, women, that my mother taught me years ago, and it's to wear your cooking clothes. Cooking clothes is sexy lingerie, maybe wearing an apron with nothing underneath, surprising your husband, giving the man something that he can't get at the office, welcoming him home with wearing a tie and nothing underneath. That's how you get your husband. That's how you get a man in the bedroom. You play that sexy vixen that he can't get in the office. And you work out and you look good and you make him a nice steak dinner. Most men like a nice steak dinner, whether it's a ribeye, a Delmonico steak, or a nice filet mignon. And if you don't know how to make a steak, go on YouTube and learn how. Don't get any pre-made steaks and microwave them. Try to learn how to make a steak for your man. Put it on a grill, get a George Foreman, whatever you have to do. Put it in a crock pot. I don't care. Learn how to cook somehow, some way. You don't have to be a master chef. But cooking for your man really entices him. If you can try to cook like your mother or like your mother-in-law does, even better. But remember, your husband is married to you, not his mother. But if he shows that you're appreciative of what he's doing for his mom, you show him the appreciation by telling him what a wonderful son he is, by cooking for him, by making love to him, instead of bitching at him. He will come around. And the more sex you give him, the more he realizes that what's important. Of course, his mother is important. She gave him life. But when you get married, it's you, the wife, and the husband, or you, the wife, and children. You're the family now. The mother will also appreciate the fact that her daughter-in-law is thinking of her and coming to her. And the mother may say, you know what? You've done enough, son. Go home to your wife. Your wife has done so much for me. Go home to your wife. Take care of your wife. I'll be fine. And she loved that advice. And she gave me free samples of perfume. But again, she thought about herself and she didn't think about the situation in front of her. Is her husband abusive to her? Is he cheating on her with his mom? No. He's being a good son. And they always say if the son is good to his mom, he's 100% great to the wife. She was just being greedy. You can't be greedy. She acted like her son was, or she acted like her husband was abusing her or hitting her. He was being a good son. But she should be involved too, as the daughter-in-law. I have single friends that are 34 years old, 49 years old. One thing they tell me is, I go out with this guy and he doesn't do this. I go out with this guy and he doesn't do that. I go out with this guy and he's this. And I go out with this guy and he's that. And I'm like, is there anything positive about the guy? If you speak negatively about your man or about a guy you're dating all the time, you need to move on. He's not right for you. You're not good together. It's never going to work out. You never want to consistently speak negatively of your man or call your man an a-hole or curse him out in front of people. But again, it's writing the qualities of what you're looking for. I met this woman also a couple days ago in Boca Raton, Florida, 50-year-old woman, Jewish, never been married. And she said to me, like, what's the key to finding love? What's the key to finding a spouse? My sister found her husband at events. And I told her, you have to go to the places where you want a like-minded person. Like if you're politically involved, go to political events. If you're religiously involved, you go to religious events. My sister wasn't that politically involved when she met her husband, but she loved the veterans. And my brother-in-law is a veteran. He served in the Army Reserve. So she happened to meet him at a veterans event. You can meet your spouse at a synagogue. You can meet him at a political event. But you have to go to places with like-minded people. As I've said before, I would never in my life date or marry a liberal. I would never in my life date or marry a rhino. I would never in my life date someone who said free Palestine. That doesn't bode well with me, and that would never effing work. But if you enjoy going to temple, going to church, going to political events, networking events, I said before, networking events are the best way to find a spouse because you're getting to know that person and their profession. And again, if you're looking for a certain person that makes a certain income, you go to certain networking events. If it's networking events for attorneys, financial advisors, and lawyers, and doctors, and if that's the type of person that you want to marry, then you go to those events. Get a group of girls and go with you, or go by yourself. Sometimes it's better to go by yourself. I know friends that have been more successful finding their spouses going to these events by themselves and having what they call tag-alongs or Debbie Downers. The problem is that COVID really screwed up the dating scene and everyone is still sitting around on social media waiting to find their spouse. No, it's time to get out. COVID is over. Get out and meet somebody. And I've said this before. So these are a couple of slides that I found, and I want to share one to you. Let's go with the first one, the first slide. So dating advice for 2025 is what I'm giving to everyone. And again, this segment is for people ages 36 and up. Number one, work on becoming spiritually and emotionally healthy, standing alone. So if you aren't emotionally healthy and spiritually healthy, you'll never find your spouse. Everybody needs God. Everybody needs God. They need some form of religion in their life. They really do. So like I said, if you're a traditional Jewish person or if you're a Christian, you don't have to go to church every day. You don't have to go to a synagogue every day or every week. But if you identify as something, whether you're Christian or Jewish or whatever, and you are happy with yourself, then you will find somebody. You cannot find someone if you are emotionally broken. I know so many men that date women just because they're emotionally broken. They just want to like have sex. No, if you feel that you're not financially ready to support another person, you do not date them. If you are not emotionally ready yourself to date someone, don't bring somebody else into your drama. You have to date someone on a clean slate, and when things are clean and when there's no problems and no drama. That makes a successful relationship and a successful marriage. And again, communication is the key. If you cannot tell your loved one or your spouse the truth about what's going on in your life, then you should not be married to them. You shouldn't keep anything from your spouse. And yes, it's true. The truth does hurt. But you know what? Lies hurt even more. And lying in a marriage is so bad. Lying about anything in a marriage is awful. So let's go to the second slide. So this is one that I saw on the internet. It was number 5 out of 10. It says talk during an activity or long drive. And I agree with this. The best way to know your spouse or to get to know someone is taking a long drive, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. If you can't go on vacation with somebody and not have and if you go on vacation with someone, let me rephrase it, and you have an argument with them, then they're not the ones for you. But if you can go on a vacation with them and not have an argument and you feel you're closer together, that's the one for you. So it says there's something about long walks and long drives that helps people open up, which is true. Probably because you're side by side and not staring each other down. Cooking, gardening, doing dishes together, and other activities help take the pressure off deeper conversations, which is true. Also, this is very important. Do not discuss your exes on a date, whether it's a first date, second date, even when you're engaged. Do not discuss your exes or past relationships. It brings up a lot of bad shit, pardon my language. And also that person that you're dating could throw that against you. Like if you tell your man, well, I dated a guy that turned out to be gay. The guy could throw that against you if you have a big fight and say, oh, now I know why your ex turned gay. You want to keep that shit to yourself. Especially women. Let the guy do all the talking. If the guy wants to talk all about his exes and his conquests and whatever, let him do the talking, but don't you open your big mouth. Don't you say a word. You act like you're a virgin sitting there, like you've never been with anybody. No guy wants to know how many men have been in between your legs. They don't want to know. They want to feel that you're wholesome, you're pure, and that you're starting over with them. They don't want to know about your sexcapades. They don't want to know that you had a threesome, a foursome, an orgy, whatever. You keep that to yourself. You take those things to the grave. It's not good. People talk too damn much on a date, and they end up why they're single. Let's go to the third slide. So this one's really important. This is how you know you have a great partner. So this is to people that are dating right now or that are married. And I want you to read this, and I want you to check off the box, or check off just check off the ends of these and see if you know that your partner is great. I can't even talk today. So number 1, they're curious and open to trying new things with you. Their actions consistently match their words. So they're not just all talk, their action as well. They've done the work to understand how their upbringing shows up in their relationships, which is very important. Again, what I said earlier, how a man treats his mother is how he's going to treat his woman. If a man treats his mother with respect, he's going to treat his wife with respect, and he's going to treat his children with respect. So that's really important. And if you marry someone who's very close with their family, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. You know, I see so many couples where they're like, oh, I hate my father, I have a bad relationship with my father, bad relationship with my mother. I don't talk to my sister. You don't want to marry someone like that who's got family issues, family problems. Most people want to get married to expand their family. So the next one says they're secure in themselves and don't need constant validation from you or others. So meaning you don't have to like say to your guy, do you think I'm beautiful? Do you think I'm great? Do you love me? No, if you have to say that to your man, that means you're not secure in yourself. Now, you can say it in a cutesy manner. You know, you can be like, you know, just for fun. But there are some girls that literally say it all the time. Do you love me? Are you sure? Am I okay? It's annoying and men don't want to hear it. And women don't want to hear it either. And then the next one is they have goals and make room in their life for a relationship. So it's really important now to marry a goal-driven man and woman. Nowadays, men and women are very driven in their careers. But you can still have a career and want other ambitions. Like my father is an ambitious driver, and that is the key to finding a great man and woman. You want to find someone who's an ambitious driver, someone that doesn't just clock in and clock out, someone that actually wants to do other things, someone that actually has a career, but then wants to do other things in their career, someone that will go outside the box and know how to be successful in whatever they do. I think it's really important that people set goals for themselves and have that mindset that they're going to do it. I've set goals for myself. When I wanted to be a professional opera singer, I set the goal that I was going to sing here, I was going to perform there. When I started becoming a health insurance agent, I set the goal. I said, I'm getting my license. I'm becoming a health and life insurance agent. This is something that I was ingrained in my entire life. I grew up in the industry with my father and my sister, and I want to be successful in this. And I got involved in the Jewish federations and the JCCs and becoming a cantor. I mean, anything I wanted to do, I put my mind to. And I still put my mind to these things to this day. And the last one is they show up consistently for folks they care about. Again, that's showing up for your mom, showing up for your dad, showing up for your spouse, showing up for your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatnot. It's very important, guys, that when you go into the end of 2025, into 2026 with a different mindset of dating. Again, don't be negative. Don't think negatively about the next relationship to come, and don't get stuck in a relationship. If you've been in a relationship with someone for 3 to 6 years and you feel it's going nowhere, move on. Dump that person, and I guarantee you will find your spouse the next day. You have to have that confidence. You have to say to yourself, I'm beautiful and I'm strong, and everybody likes me, and I'm going to find my spouse. Or you look up at God, and you look up at God and you ask him, please, God, send me my spouse. And he will listen. I am so about the power of prayer, so about the power of prayer. But it's very important, guys, that you listen to what I'm saying on this, because I'm telling you what I'm saying to you works. As I told you, I'm expanding my consulting business to dating consulting. So go to livingconsulting.co, book a consultation with me today. I have saved a lot of people's relationships in the last year, in the last 6 months, and I've gotten people married, and I've actually helped people that are going through a bad divorce pick themselves up and find someone else right away. Don't just think because you're getting divorced, you'll never find someone again, unless you don't want to get remarried, and that's fine. But you don't have to be alone. But also, when you are in a divorce situation, don't play the victim. And don't go on a date dissing your ex-husband or your ex-wife. That's a really bad idea. But don't play the victim. It takes 2 to get divorced. It's 50-50. It wasn't all him. It wasn't all her. It was a little bit of you too. So you can't just play the victim. Unless the guy did something so heinous, like he beat the shit out of you, or, you know, the wife committed adultery, or just if it was just something like that. But most divorces end because of irreconcilable differences, bad arguments. The guy says something to the girl says something to the guy, and it's just unforgivable. That's how most marriages end up. Or the guy and the girl are bored with the spouse, and they kind of want to fuck another woman or another man on the side, but they can't because they're still technically married. So they divorce that way. Like I said, it's 50-50. It's not 100% one person's fault, unless for very bad situations, like situations where like the guy or the girl, you know, beat each other up. That's a whole different scenario. But please, guys, I want you to look into the dating scene as a good thing, a positive thing, not a bad thing. Don't go into it with a negative feeling. Don't go into it with a negative spin. I want you all to get married and have kids. I want you all to have happy marriages. I want you all to realize that if you are going through a bad divorce, that your next person is waiting for you around the corner. Don't feel like you have no one. Trust in yourself. Again, when you are spiritually and emotionally happy and healthy, and your mind is all clear, you can focus on what you really want. Speaking of someone who knows exactly what he wants, as you know, on our show, we are in campaign mode. As a political consultant, I do work on campaigns and with candidates. And one that I wholeheartedly endorse and support, I've worked with for 6 years and continue to work with him, is my good friend, Tim Fazenbaker. Let's put him up. Yay! Candidate for Baltimore County District number 9. He is running in a very America First /MAGA district. He is the only one that is running that's going to win. There is no one else that's running right now. They're trying to push a rhino in to run against him, which is a freaking joke. People are donating to Tim. People are supporting him left and right from not just Maryland, but outside of Maryland as well. So please, guys, go to timfazenbaker.com. That's TIMFAZENBAKER.com and donate to him today. I know he's working on a fundraiser coming up next year. I can't say when. And we may have a wonderful special guest. As you know, Tim is very connected to the media. He's very connected to big names in the political circuit. So please, guys, we will keep you posted on that. We want as much support for him and for that event as possible. But again, go to timfazenbaker.com, make a donation today. And my good friend, Kimberly Stansberry, she's running for Baltimore County Executive. She officially filed. She is literally the only Republican that's worth voting for, supporting, and giving money to. So please, guys, go to electkimstansberry.org. I was waiting for it to come up. electkimstansberry.org. It's electkimstansberry.org. Make a donation. People are donating $250, $300, thousands. They love her. She's the only woman running right now. If she wins, it will be history. She will be the first woman elected Baltimore County executive. And I know I'm not going to play the woman card, but this woman knows what she's talking about. She knows the position like no other. She knows how to delegate. And she's a smart woman. Her husband served our nation. He was a Vietnam vet. He died of Agent Orange, but he was a very good man. Speaking about a wonderful marriage, she had an amazing marriage to her husband because she listened to him and she respected him and took care of him and took care of his mother. And he took care of her. She had cancer. She's a breast cancer survivor. And he took care of her through all of that. And she's got 2 wonderful children. And she's a wonderful human being. So again, go to electkimstansberry.org. And of course, we always help our friend out, Seth Eisenberg of the Conservative Corner. His GoFundMe, we have raised over $6,400 for him. The goal is $10,000. The ultimate goal is $100K. Please, guys, Seth served our Navy. He's a veteran. We need to give back to our veterans. Veterans, as we know, they're suffering day and night. And Seth almost lost his foot not once, but twice. And he's got bills to pay and a son to support and many other things that he needs to pay for. But he's a great patriot. He puts together events all the time. We love him on our network. So please go to help Jonah Eisenberg /health/crisis on GoFundMe and donate today. And again, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the America's Pulse Network. We are on multiple different platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on X. We're on Parler. We're on TikTok and Instagram. So it's like 6 or 7 platforms that we're on. And guys, don't forget that this Sunday night is the Conservative Corner with Seth Eisenberg live, 7 to 8:30 p.m. I hope he doesn't have the tech problems that we had. He's usually pretty solid. But we call him our Popeye the Sailor Man. He is awesome. We love him. And guys, don't forget to follow him on Facebook at the Conservative Corner and at Conservative Seth on X. And again, we have our other host, Damon Galdo of the Jersey Shore every Friday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. We call him the Hammer. We are expecting some other podcasters coming in next year. Our network is growing. Every single week, we are getting better and better. Our algorithms are just expanding. We're doing really well, especially because we're on so many platforms. And people love us. They love the content that we're providing. We have wonderful guests. I have some great guests coming on next year. It's going to be awesome. Some wonderful things happening. And we're really, really excited. And of course, don't forget The Pulse every night, every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. I'm sorry that I haven't been on it. I have been on vacation, but you'll see me more on it. But please, guys, don't forget to watch The Pulse every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. And don't forget to follow Damon Galdo on Facebook at Damon Galdo and on X at Damon Galdo. And don't forget to follow me, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook at Alexandra Levi 20 on X, at AirLevine85 on Instagram, TikTok, Parler, Truth Social. And I think that's about it. I'm on a lot of different platforms. But thank you guys. Again, I want to say thank you to my viewers. I know there's a lot of people that watch and don't comment, but thank you to the people that did comment. Thank you to Jorge Finkelman, my friend Donald Willinger, who's a loyalist. Love him. at Real Home Recording, and many other people that were on the show and commented tonight. Thank you guys so much. And the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Thank you for watching this episode of Alexandra Levine Live. So please click subscribe and then share on your favorite social medias. This way you will get notified of each upcoming episode. We look forward to hearing from you on upcoming episodes.